let's get to the questions and answers, okay?
Yeah, and just one other thing before we do that, Doug, I'm not sure if you already did, but could you just show everybody where the webinars are being posted in the help system?
Yep. I think I closed it down a minute ago, but we can fire it back up real easy. Yep. I think I did that right at the opening, but
Oh, you already
regardless,
did that.
guys,
Okay, I didn't
that's
notice.
okay. Let's just do it again because, ladies and gentlemen, what we're trying to get you to do is get interest, get into the help system, and support these things that we're doing. So basically, right off your table of contents, webinars. Each webinar will be listed. We'll be adding the one from today, but here's the one we did 2 weeks ago. Here's your handout with some captions in here where you guys can do a little bit of a review. We're recording all the audio on these, so you can look at the recordings, and I guess Jeff even has some of the Q&A stuff in there too.
Yeah, so all the recordings are split out as hyperlinks, so they're all separate videos, so you'll find them throughout the document.
Okay. So take advantage, or if you have some of your staff that you want to watch this stuff, get them involved, and we'll go from there. Okay, Jeff, do you guys want to go through the list of Q&A, or looks like a lot of them have been answered?
Yeah, so we've answered a bunch of them. We'll just go through some of those, and if anybody has additional questions, you can just pose them within the question module, and we'll go through those as well. So the first one was the cost portion for the labor, is that tech specific? And so that was related to when you were talking about the thresholds, I believe, in setting up the cost per tech, and it is tech specific. So depending on what tech is assigned to the work order, it will pull their hourly cost that you've set up in the system.
Please note that if you do one technician, do all technicians. If not, it will skew your reporting.
And then another one was, is a wage burden included? So we would recommend that you do add, kind of a fully loaded cost, hourly cost of the technician. It's important to understand that labor cost, it's never going to be perfect because you truly don't know the cost of your labor until you do your payroll, but it's really to give you an idea, and you should be able to get a good sense of what your hourly cost is of each tech. So yeah, you want to put in that true cost. The question here, can the matrix be used for labor as well? So the more hours being charged, the higher the labor rate? It cannot. We had a question about the labor matrix saying that they have to edit it at the beginning of a new calendar year, I guess because all of the ages of the vehicles are 1 year older at that point, and whether the system can take that into account. It cannot. The labor matrix only applies to vehicles based on the vehicle year, so you would have to adjust it every year if that's how you're doing it. Here's a good question. Just to clarify, we're talking about the factor of the labor matrix. Just to clarify, 2.0 equals double the labor time, not 2%. That's correct. So a factor of 2.0 would double any booked labor time.
When you look up parts, we're seeing a cost list at MSRP. What that is it's just whatever the vendor or supplier displays to you. So the cost will be your cost, and that is what their MSRP is, not what your MSRP is. So when it comes back, it just brings the cost back and takes your matrix that you have and applies it to that cost. It ignores the MSRP. Unless you set the matrix up to not mark it up, as Doug was explaining earlier, then it would use MSRP.
You want to do the next one there?
Sure. When we add a rule, does it apply to all workstations? Yes, it does, because it's a location setting, so it's for the whole store. Can we set a margin based on parts supplier?
You cannot do it based on a supplier. It would have to be based on manufacturer.
Yep. Can parts margin matrix be set by individual supplier? No. What is the duration function used for while building service packages in relation to the labor matrix? That's for appointments. So when you're booking appointments, if you have service packages, it looks at the duration to book the hours and for the appointments. Can a parts margin matrix be set up for an individual supplier? No. Can the parts margin matrix be set up for an individual supplier such as dealer? No.
Well, that looks to be the end of the questions. If you guys have any more, please don't hesitate to send them in, and send in any feature requests as well that you've thought of during the session. I'll pass it over to Doug.
Okay, guys, so we're done for today. I certainly hope you can take something away from this and apply it. Remember, we're trying to say use the help system. Hopefully your help system will give you the answers. There is the support department. If you have further questions or if you have features you would like to add to the system, please contact them. I do believe our next webinar is going to be in 2 weeks. We're going to run these on a 2-week cycle right now, so every other Thursday going forward. I really appreciate the turnout. I'm seeing 59 people that are still on the meeting. So we really appreciate your interest, and we'll probably get to a point where we'll be asking you some of the things you'd like to see in the webinars going forward. So again, thanks everybody.